In the dimly lit office of the CEO, a secret unfolds. Our tale begins within the hallowed walls of the fashion world's highest echelon, where the powerful Victoria resides as the CEO of a top-tier fashion company. The hour is late, the city sleeps, yet here in this sanctuary of style and sophistication, the lights burn bright. Victoria, a woman of steel and silk, sits behind her ebony desk, poring over the company's latest collection. Her eyes, usually sparkling with determination, now bear a hint of exhaustion. Yet her spirit remains undaunted, her resolve unbroken. Suddenly a timid knock disrupts the silence. It's her devoted assistant, a messenger bearing news. The assistant enters, her hands trembling as she hands over a confidential file. This isn't the usual business report or a mundane financial update. No, this is something far more sinister. As Victoria opens the file, her heart pounds a rhythm of anticipation against her ribs. Her eyes scan the pages, each word, each sentence, each paragraph revealing a new layer of betrayal. It's a plot twist not even the most seasoned soap opera writer could concoct. The file contains evidence, cold and hard, that their top designer, the vivacious and talented Isabella, might be playing a double game. The designs that were the lifeblood of their company, the heart of their success, might be seeping into the hands of a rival. The very thought sends a chill down Victoria's spine. The room grows colder, the silence heavier. Victoria's mind races, grappling with the reality of the situation. She had trusted Isabella, nurtured her talent, and turned her into the star she is today. And this was her repayment? Victoria's hand tightens around the file, her knuckles whitening under the strain. Her eyes, once filled with fatigue, now blaze with anger and disbelief. She had built this empire from the ground up, and she'd be damned if she let it crumble because of a traitor. Victoria tightly grips the file, her eyes filled with disbelief and betrayal. The stage is set, the players are in place, and the game of fashion, power, and deceit is about to begin. Morning arrives with a chilling revelation. As the sun peeks over the horizon, casting long shadows in the luxurious corporate office, our focus shifts to Victoria. She's a woman of strength, a woman of power. But in this moment, she wears a mask of uncertainty. She's caught in a storm of doubt, and the eye of that storm is Isabella. Victoria confronts Isabella, her voice echoing in the silence of the early morning. The accusations hang in the air, a tangible presence between them. Isabella, the ever-smiling confidant, now wears an expression of bewilderment. She vehemently denies the allegations. Her words, however, are as hollow as the empty office around them. Isabella, once a beacon of trust and reliability, now seems to Victoria as a stranger. She's asked for an alibi, a shred of evidence to cast aside the damning allegations. But Isabella, she fumbles. Her words are stuttered, her eyes are averted. She can't provide a solid alibi. Silence descends upon them once more, a deafening silence that seems to scream at Victoria. Victoria is torn. Her heart yearns to believe Isabella, to trust the bond they've built over countless board meetings and late-night strategy sessions. But the evidence, it's like a thorn, pricking at her trust, threatening to unravel everything. She's caught in a crossfire, her trust for Isabella on one side and the damning evidence on the other. The air grows heavy as Victoria grapples with her emotions. The weight of the decision rests on her shoulders. Should she trust her friend, or should she trust the evidence? It's a question that haunts her, a question that echoes in the silence of the office. The dawn gives way to daylight, casting a harsh light on the scene. Victoria looks at Isabella, uncertainty clouding her eyes. The decision is yet to be made, the storm is yet to pass. The echoes of the unseen betrayal linger, a ghost of a whisper in the corporate halls. Victoria looks at Isabella, uncertainty clouding her eyes. In the corporate world, every step is a calculated move. The office is a dance floor where every twirl, every leap, every graceful pirouette is a strategic maneuver. And so Victoria, the queen of the corporate ballet, makes her play. Victoria, sophisticated and sharp as a diamond-tipped stiletto, has decided to keep an eye on Isabella. Isabella, the corporate ingenue with her doe-eyed innocence, is completely unaware of the suspicions stacked against her. Victoria, however, is not one to be fooled by appearances. She has seen enough in this world of high stakes and higher fashion to know that innocence can be just another mask in the masquerade of corporate intrigue. Victoria instructs her assistant, a faithful adjutant in this corporate battle, to keep a discreet eye on Isabella. She wants to know her routines, her contacts, her every move. She wants to be ready, to anticipate Isabella's next step before she even knows it herself. Victoria's assistant nods, understanding the gravity of the task. It's a silent contract sealed in the hushed whispers of a corner office, a pact made in the shadows of the corporate skyscrapers. Meanwhile, Isabella, with her head held high and her dreams even higher, continues her dance. She doesn't know that she's being watched, that her every move is being scrutinized, that her every step is being echoed in the silent rhythm of Victoria's vigilant watch. For Isabella, the corporate world is a stage, and she believes she's the star of the show. Little does she know that she's merely a pawn in the grand ballet of corporate politics. In the end, it's all a dance, a corporate dance. The rhythm may change, the steps may vary, but the dance never stops. It's a dance of ambition and power, of trust and betrayal, of dreams and reality. And as the day draws to a close, Victoria watches Isabella, her eyes reflecting the cold, hard light of the corporate skyline. A silent battle of trust and betrayal is brewing, and the stage is set for the next act in this corporate drama. In times of crisis, enemies can become allies. In the cutthroat world of corporate fashion, alliances are as fleeting as the latest trend, yet as enduring as a timeless classic. Today, an unlikely pairing is on the horizon. Victoria, the reigning queen of the fashion world, is about to make a move no one sees coming. Victoria is known for her unyielding determination and grit. But today, she's faced with a situation that requires a different approach. A mole in her company threatens to disrupt her empire, and she finds herself in dire need of an ally. In the corporate battlefield, there's one man who matches Victoria's cunning: Marcus. He's a business rival, a worthy adversary, always in pursuit of Victoria's throne. Their rivalry is the stuff of legends, making headlines and turning heads. But today, Victoria is not seeking a war. She's seeking a truce. Victoria approaches Marcus, a move as bold as her latest fashion line and as risky as a high-stakes game of poker. She proposes an alliance, an unexpected turn in their long-standing rivalry. The room fills with tension as she extends her olive branch, her eyes telling a story of desperation and determination. Marcus, ever the skeptic, eyes Victoria warily. He's cautious, yet intrigued. The prospect of an alliance with his fiercest competitor is as enticing as it is dangerous. Marcus knows that in this world, trust is a luxury they can't afford, but he also knows that sometimes, the enemy of your enemy could be your friend. With reluctance etched on his face, Marcus extends his hand, accepting Victoria's offer. The decision is not easy, but it's necessary. After all, in the world of fashion, survival is all about adapting to change, even if it means forming alliances with old enemies. Victoria and Marcus shake hands, a new alliance formed amidst a brewing storm. Their handshake marks the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where enemies become allies, and alliances are sealed with a handshake. In the world of corporate fashion, this is just another day. Love blooms in the most unexpected places, and in our world of high fashion and high stakes, it's no different. Isabella, a newcomer to this glittering stage, finds herself drawn to Ethan, the son of the formidable Victoria. Ethan, with his charming smile and boyish innocence, is oblivious to the undercurrents that run deep in this world. He sees Isabella, not as a player in his mother's corporate empire, but as a breath of fresh air, a respite from the cutthroat business he was born into. Isabella, on the other hand, is fully aware of the precarious position she's in. She's caught in a clandestine game, a secret relationship with Ethan while being under the cloud of suspicion. She's a woman of many faces, the ambitious executive, the suspected traitor, and now the secret lover. Each role she plays adds a new layer of complexity to her character and to the drama that is unfolding. Ethan and Isabella's relationship is a delicate dance, a balance between their personal desires and the larger game at play. It's a love story woven into the fabric of corporate intrigue and power plays. And like any good love story, it's filled with stolen glances, whispered promises, and secret rendezvous. But this is no ordinary love story. It's a love triangle, with the third vertex being the corporate world they're both a part of. As Ethan gazes into Isabella's eyes, he sees not the woman surrounded by suspicion, but the woman who's captured his heart. And Isabella, despite the chaos around her, finds solace in Ethan's arms. It's a sweet moment, a calm before the storm. But storms, they have a way of sneaking up on you. And this one's been brewing for a while. Ethan kisses Isabella, unaware of the storm that's about to hit. It's a storm of revelations, of suspicions confirmed, and of alliances shattered. But that's a story for another day. For now, they have this moment, this kiss, and the promise of love in the most unexpected places. When the truth surfaces, so do the confrontations. As the sun dips below the skyline of this corporate fashion beauty cosmetic world, Victoria, the matriarch of the family, finds herself standing in front of Ethan, her son, a confrontation brewing like a storm on the horizon. Victoria has always been a woman of poise and control, but today, her voice shakes with tension as she finally voices her suspicions. "Ethan," she begins, her voice echoing in the spacious penthouse, "I know about Isabella." The words hang heavily in the air, a secret finally voiced. Ethan, ever the calm and collected, doesn't flinch. But there's a flicker in his eyes, a hint of surprise. "Mother," he replies, "Isabella is a friend, nothing more." He tries to keep his voice steady, but there's an edge to it, a defensive note that betrays his feelings. Victoria's eyes narrow and she presses on, her voice laced with desperation. "You're risking everything, Ethan, the company, our family legacy, for what? A fleeting romance?" The words are bitter, a plea for her son to see reason. But Ethan, his gaze unwavering, defends Isabella. "She's more than a fleeting romance, Mother. And the company, the legacy, it's not everything." As he speaks, a rift forms between them, the unspoken truths now revealed causing the divide to widen. Victoria's heart clenches as she watches Ethan, her boy, stand his ground. She sees the determination in his eyes and it scares her. She's losing him, she realizes, to a world and a love she doesn't understand. Her voice softens, the confrontation losing its fire. "Ethan," she whispers, "I just don't want you to get hurt." It's a mother's plea, a last attempt at reconciliation. But the damage is done, the confrontation has left its mark. Ethan, his face a mask of resolve, turns away, leaving Victoria standing alone in the penthouse. The silence is deafening, broken only by the quiet ticking of the clock on the wall. Victoria watches Ethan leave, her heart filled with regret and fear. The confrontation, inevitable as it was, has changed everything. And as the sun sets completely, Victoria is left alone with her thoughts and the echo of her son's words. Every story has a turning point, this is ours. In the world of high-stakes beauty and fashion, no secret can remain hidden forever. Victoria, the reigning queen of the corporate cosmetic empire, has been wrestling with a dilemma. A mole within her company, a traitor, a snake in the grass. Her fingers had pointed at Isabella, a trusted confidant, a friend even. But now the winds of change are beginning to blow. Victoria's assistant, a silent observer, a diligent detective of sorts, stumbles upon a crucial piece of evidence. A piece that suggests the mole might not be Isabella after all, but someone else lurking within the company, their true colors yet to be revealed. Victoria is filled with guilt. She had doubted Isabella, questioned her loyalty, her integrity. She had allowed suspicion to taint their friendship. It's a bitter pill to swallow, this realization. She had been wrong, so terribly wrong. But guilt, as they say, is a heavy burden, and Victoria is not one to carry it lightly. This turning point, this twist in the tale, it's a chance for redemption. A chance to make amends, to right the wrongs, but it comes with its own set of challenges. For if not Isabella, then who? The question hangs in the air, a suspenseful pause in this corporate drama. Who is the traitor? Who has been pulling the strings, dancing in the shadows? Who is the real enemy within? Victoria looks at the new evidence, her heart pounding with anticipation, with fear, with regret. She had been blinded by her own assumptions, her own prejudices, but no more. It's time to face the truth, however ugly it might be. Her eyes scan the evidence, the damning proof of her misguided judgment. Her heart sinks, her breath catches in her throat. The revelation is nothing short of shocking. Victoria looks at the new evidence, her eyes wide with shock. The truth has a way of unveiling itself. A statement of profound significance, especially today. In the heart of the corporate fashion beauty cosmetic world, the air bristles with the electric charge of revelation. The stage is set, and the curtain is about to rise on an act of treachery that will stun us all. Victoria, a woman of power and elegance, has been navigating through a sea of intrigue. The waves of suspicion have been high, and the winds of betrayal chilling. Her trust, her faith, had been placed in Isabella, a rising star in the firmament of fashion. But as the storm raged, Victoria was led to believe that Isabella was the mole, the traitor, leaking their company's secrets. But here's where the tale takes a shocking twist. The real mole wasn't Isabella. The snake in the grass was much closer to home. It was her trusted assistant, the one person Victoria believed could never betray her. The person who had been framing Isabella all along. As the truth dawns on Victoria, the world around her seems to spin. The walls of trust she had built crumble. The ground beneath her feet shifts. The assistant, the trusted aide, the one Victoria relied on for everything, was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes. the one leading Victoria down the garden path while weaving a web of deceit. The trusted assistant now unmasked as the real mole, a revelation as stunning as it is heartbreaking. Victoria had been blinded by trust, but now, her eyes are open. She sees the assistant for what they truly are, a traitor, a Judas, the one who sold her out, the one who betrayed her trust, her faith, her company. The realization is a bitter pill to swallow. Victoria is left reeling, her world turned upside down. Victoria stares at her assistant, betrayal etched on her face. The masks have fallen. The truth, as harsh and unforgiving as it is, stands unveiled. There are no more secrets, no more lies, only the cold, hard reality of betrayal. The game of power and deception continues, and the stakes have never been higher. In the final moments, a cliffhanger awaits. Just when you think you've seen it all, the world of fashion and beauty never ceases to surprise. Our scene unfolds in a corporate tower, a beacon of power and prestige in the industry. Victoria, the reigning queen of the cosmetics world, stands tall, her eyes flickering with determination. The air in the room is thick with tension, as if the walls themselves are holding their breath. The assistant, who was once a beacon of loyalty and support, now stands opposite her. She shifts uncomfortably under Victoria's gaze, the weight of her actions bearing down on her. Victoria is not one to back down. She strides towards her, her steps echoing in the silence. The power dynamics are shifting, and the assistant can feel it. Her face pales, her bravado crumbling. She knows what's coming. But there's a twist. Just as Victoria is about to expose her, to reveal her treachery to the world, a sudden darkness engulfs the room. The power in the building goes out, cutting off her words, and plunging them into an abyss of uncertainty. For a moment everything is silent. The sudden darkness brings a chill that seeps into the room, making the confrontation even more dramatic. The assistant can only stand there, frozen, as the reality of her actions sinks in. Her heart pounds in her chest, the only sound in the otherwise silent room. In the midst of the darkness, Victoria's voice rings out. It's as firm and unyielding as ever, a beacon in the pitch-black room. The assistant can hear the anger in her voice, the betrayal. She has no place to hide now. Victoria's words echo through the room, a chilling reminder of her actions. She says, "You thought you could betray me?" The question hangs in the air, a cliffhanger that leaves us all on the edge of our seats, waiting for what's to come. In the darkness, Victoria's voice echoes, "You thought you could betray me?" Welcome back to Glamour and Grind Corporate Couture Chronicles. As we plunge back into the world of high-stakes fashion, we find ourselves right where we left off, immersed in the chilling echo of Victoria's words. "You thought you could betray me?" Her voice, full of accusation and bitterness, reverberates in the darkness, a daunting reminder of the assistant's transgressions. Room remains shrouded in darkness, the tension in the air thick enough to cut with knife. The assistant's breath hitches in her throat, the gravity of her actions finally settling in. She's ensnared in the darkness with Victoria, her words echoing in her ears, each syllable a dagger to her conscience. The screen fades to black, the echoing question hanging in the air, a chilling reminder of the betrayal. The darkness engulfs the scene, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats. The silence stretches on, a palpable entity that only serves to heighten the suspense. As the screen remains black, the echo of Victoria's words fades into silence, leaving only the sound of the assistant's ragged breathing. The suspense is unbearable, the anticipation of what's to come is almost too much. And then, just as the tension reaches its peak, the scene ends, leaving the audience in suspense. "Stay tuned for the next episode," the voiceover announces, the words hanging in the air as the scene fades to black. Screen remains dark, the suspense lingering, a promise of the drama to come.